Hi, welcome to another online lesson. This is lesson 7.5. What we're going to do is solve division equations. Now, we've already become masters at addition, subtraction, and multiplication. This is our last step. This is dealing with division. So say I'm given a problem with a variable like a over 3 equals 7, which is basically just saying a divided by 3 equals 7. First step, we have to isolate that variable a. So I find the side of the equation where a is, and it's divided. What's the inverse? Multiplication. So a here is being divided by 3. So in order to get rid of that divided by 3, I have to multiply by 3. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3. And if I multiply this side of the equal sign, I have to multiply this side of the equal sign by the same number, which is 3. Divided by 3, multiplied by 3, those will cancel each other out, leaving just a on this side. A equals 7 times 3, which is 21. I think that's right. The only way to be sure is to plug it back into our original equation to see if it works. A equals 21, so I'm going to say 21 divided by 3 equals 7. Is that true? Yes, it is. We know we have the correct answer. So that's really what you have to do. Those are the steps involved. Find where the variable is, figure out what it is doing, in this case it's dividing, and then do the inverse. So let's try another one. Let's do 30 equals b over 2. Okay, first, find the variable and find which side of the equal sign that it is. No variable here, variable's over here this time. Notice the operation is division, so what we have to do is do the inverse. In this case, it's divided by 2, so we have to multiply by 2. If we do it here, we've also got to do it over here, times 2. These two cancel each other out, leaving just b equals 2 times 30 is 60. 60 equals b, or b equals 60. I think it's right. Let's double check. Instead of b, I'm going to write down 60. 60 divided by 2. Does that in fact equal 30? 30 equals 60 divided by 2? It does. We are good to go. Now this also applies for word problems as well. And here's one. And let's take a look at it. Nathan picked a total of 60 apples in 1/3 of an hour. Write and solve a division equation to find how many apples Nathan could pick in 1 hour. Okay, so what we have to do is two different things. First, we have to write. Second, we have to solve a division equation. So that's key. We have to use division to find how many apples Nathan could pick in 1 hour. Okay, so we know first is right, second is solve. Let's pull some of the numbers out. Nathan picked a total of 60 apples, big, in 1/3 of an hour. Right and solve, perfect. So now we have 60, we have 1/3, and we know we have to do a division equation. So if you picked a total of 60, we know it's going to equal 60. And this tells us he did it in 1/3 of an hour. So what we have to do is figure out how many he did in 1 hour. Well, 1/3 of an hour is just basically taking an hour and dividing it up into thirds, or divided by 3. Because we don't know how many he picked in 1 hour, we're going to use that as our variable, and we'll call it A for apples. Why not? A divided by 3, because it was 1/3 of an hour, equals 60. So let's see if this will work. Because that is divided by 3, I have to multiply by 3 to get rid of it. And over here I have to multiply by 3 as well. Those cancel each other out, leaving just A equals I know 6 times 3 is 18. Add a 0, 180. 8 equals 180. Now let's see, does that make sense? If he picked a total of 60 apples in 1/3 of an hour, doesn't that say that he just did 60, and then another 60, and then another 60 to get 180? It does. So it makes sense. We wrote our equation. We solved our division equation. Now let's double check our answer. So instead of A, I'm going to plug in 180 divided by 3 equals 60. That I can't do off the top of my head, so I'm going to go over here and do some work. And I'm going to say 180 divided by 3. 3 goes into 18 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. We're looking good so far. Subtract. We are down to 0. 0. 3 goes into 0 how many times? 60. I'm sorry, 0. 3 goes into 0 0 times. 0 times 3 is 0. Subtract. We are at 0. The answer is 60. And it is confirmed we got the right answer. I gave you a few problems to try on your own. Any questions? Jot them down, bring them to class. We'll see you later.
Yeah,